Hello and welcome everybody to the third installment in A Murder of Crows, based on Into the Shadows, Land of Vampires by Beth and Jonathan Ball. We are still in the village of Homlet, where you are based, where Lyra is based. Lyra has had a meeting with her patron, Diespater, and he's tasked her with journeying to Nocturne, which you have discovered is not a place. It's kind of a place, but it's not a village, it's a castle. To find out why a certain vampire who was banned to these here lands from his own world has been killing people, because Diespater believes that he's trying to get back and is trying to open a blood portal, and he wants you to follow him to his homeland to see what's cooking. And you have decided to take on this task, and Min is going to go with you. You've also learned that the crows that have been traveling with you or around you most recently and have been besieging your home, in Diespater's viewpoint, are emissaries of your mother, whom you've never met.
I don't want to meet.
And you don't want to meet her, but
No.
the thing is that basically you have also bought some stuff, because Lyra didn't have any shoes. She's been walking in her bare feet, so now she's got something like ballet shoes without the point, because she feels that boots don't work for her. She's also got mittens because she's actually gloves, because she's getting cold, and she's got a new cloak because the cloak that she has been wearing is of a very interesting material, which she calls bamboo straw, also known as tatami, and it's used to keep off the rain, and it's a very good at that, but it's not keeping her warm at all, because the place where she comes from is more wet and less cold. And you want to today make some inquiries about how best to get to a Nocturne, because that's a part of the environment or the environments that you haven't been in, because you're from the west and it lies to the east. So basically, where would you like to go to make inquiries?
Probably the inn?
Yeah.
Question mark? Not sure if we have anything else.
Well, I mean, the inn would be a good place to start, because it is a very well-to-do village or town where lots of people come by and everybody stays at the inn. So the inn is kind of like a center for meeting strangers, meeting travelers, but also the people who own it. The Banks family would know lots of things.
Yeah, then we would go definitely for the inn, and today was also then the day where I would show a few of the women around the shop so they can keep it up and running.
Okay. So essentially, the women basically really ask a lot of questions. For example, are they supposed to collect herbs to fill the supplies, or should they once it's gone, it's gone?
It's gone. It's gone.
Okay, then they're also interested in what to do with the cat, because Darling isn't moving. Darling is eyeing all of them kind of like balefully, and she's not having this.
If you could just once a day, one of you just place something to eat in a bowl down here and some water, they should be fine. If they want to leave, let them leave.
One of the women approaches the cat, and the cat basically hisses at her. And she's like, "Oh my, there's a temper on this one."
I think Lyra will then, darling, they will look out for you. You will not be alone. Be nice. She's not really taking it, I guess, but
skeptical look.
Well, if not, you will not get food and drinks. Not sure if that is a good option.
You get the "how dare you threaten me" look.
I'm not scared of you. And she will turn around and explain more that here you can find these things. And she anyhow made sure that the bottles, all of them, have little tabs on them that describe what they do. She had a lot of time in the shop without anyone there, so everything is very detailed, worked on. So the only thing we can see, Lyra has a pretty handwriting.
Okay, I mean, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So essentially, they listen to what you're saying, and they look at each other and they say, "Well, I believe that between the three of us, we will manage."
As you say, you don't have to be open all day. Just when it fits between any other things, or if someone needs it, just let them have it, and please take whatever you want. Then for basically that you're here and keeping everything together.
Oh, darling, that's fine. Don't worry about a thing. And so the three of them basically make plans, and you have a feeling that, you know, they know what they're doing, and it'll be
I will
fine.
hand them the key for the store.
Oh, thank you.
And then I think after that we will move on to the inn.
So you arrive at the inn, and on a 4, it is Tom Banks, the eldest son, who is basically behind the bar. And he says, Lyra, come in. Oh, and Min, would you like lunch or something to drink, or both?
Lunch and something to drink would be nice. And
Splendid.
I have a question. I'm not sure if you can help, or if you know who you can point us to. We need to travel to the city of Nocturne.
Well, Nocturne, I know of, but that's not a city. That's a castle.
Okay, a castle. So we need to go there. We know that we need to go through Red Cross.
Yeah, you have to go through Red's Cross, and then it's kind of to the northeast from there. But how about you sit down? I have a couple of customers that I have to bring drinks to, but I do have a map. We have a map, so let me just fish this out for you.
That would be lovely, and we will take the whatever's on the menu today for lunch, and something warm to drink.
Okay, so today is going to be a mushroom pie.
Yes.
So with lots of herbs as well, and you can already smell it. And then he basically serves you your drinks, and then he says, and here is the map. And he shows you, and it's basically it's actually drawn on some parchment, so it's and it's a little bit worse for wear, so it's been around for a good while. And
should we just make a copy of it, and you can keep the original?
Oh, I would ask you to do this anyway, because I can't part with it. But
okay, but yeah,
this is what you see.
I need to make it bigger. Okay.
And essentially, you see that there are apparently 2 ways which you can travel. You can either follow. Well, you would. I mean,
we
you would go north.
definitely need to go to Red Cross.
Yes.
Or Red's Cross.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then there are 2 ways. You can either. When I zoom in, does it zoom in for you as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Basically, there is a little path through
the forest,
via Trudit to Nocturne, or you can go north on the road towards essentially Tangle Bend, but then take a right to Shadowdale, and then into the foothills. You would pass by the forest, but it's longer.
Okay. Do you have an idea how long would it be by foot to Red's Cross?
Red Cross is actually around 20 miles. So that would be, 20k, not English miles, because that would be 32 kilometers. So it's 20 linolin miles, so 20k. You could do this in 2 days walking.
Min, I'm not sure. Are you familiar with riding a horse, or should we maybe try to get a carriage? Although I have no idea how to steer it. Or is there anyone traveling through to Red Cross anyhow that can take us with them? Because that's how I got here. I just hitchhiked.
Well, I mean, we can certainly ask. I mean, we have a couple of guests who are traveling merchants. Maybe one of them will take you.
Lyra would stand up on her chair and be like, "And excuse me, everybody, excuse me."
Everybody looks at you.
Just a question: if you are traveling or planning to travel northwards and then maybe more to the east, is anyone traveling to Red Cross and might have a space for 2 ladies that are willing to pay for the fare?
Actually, I stand corrected. It's actually 3 days because I forgot that you have to go north first and then okay. Basically, make a persuasion roll or performance, whichever you prefer.
Persuasion for sure.
Okay.
Wait. Need to see the chat again. Persuasion. Holy moly, that is horrible, and my speaker is still on the wrong. Please go there, thank you. No.
Okay.
I think so. Wait. Do I have anything? Let me see.
This whole luck points only works if you say it in advance, right?
It doesn't state properly in the new handbook, at least I'm not sure. It reads kind of like, yes, you need to say it in advance.
Because it says allows me to gain advantage. How about we just play it like this? Because you and I agree that it used to be a very powerful one, and now it's
and in the past you
useless.
didn't have to. You could use it afterwards.
How about you just say, okay, you're going to take off one of your luck points, and you're going to gain the advantage on this because then you rolled a 22.
Good. Then let's do that. So Lyra is just maybe just to, and she is using then her, I think, minor illusion to also give her some like a little bit of shine and warmth, and she would just repeat basically the same question, and we can help with traveling and fighting in case there are any bandits on the road, so we could help each other.
A little bit of a portly dwarf. He says, well, I'm going to Red's Cross, no further than that, but I'm happy to give 2 young ladies a ride because the weather is turning bad and you don't want to be walking around too much. So I could, but I'm telling you, I'm warning you right now, it's going to be a little bit of a tight fit on my wagon. I sell pots and pans.
That is no problem.
It's going to be hard and metal cold. I do have a roof, like a tarpaulin.
We will find a way without being in the way. And without, that wouldn't be a problem, sir.
Splendid. I'm leaving tomorrow first thing. Is that, would that fit with your plans? Because I really need to get going. I can't delay.
Should we? She will climb down her chair, obviously, now, and she will walk over. First of all, I'm Lyra, and she will hold out her hand.
Grimbeard stone speaker.
Grimbeard, stone speaker. Nice to meet you, Grimbeard. And this is my friend Min. She will travel with us as well.
Min comes over and she also extends a hand and shakes it. Nice to make your acquaintance, Mr. Stone Speaker. I'm Min. Yes. Min Shaddai, I'm sorry.
Shh. How much should we have at hand tomorrow morning when we leave as payment for that we can travel with you? And we'll obviously bring food and drinks as well.
Well, I would say bring food and enough rations for yourselves. Well, I mean, I'm going anyway, so maybe you could help me with the horses in the evening,
Yes.
Because
No
and
problems.
keep watch, because there will be. I mean, we will be traveling for one night in the open. So one day, then we will have to camp outside for one night, and then on the second day in the evening, we will make it to Red's Cross. But during that first night, it would be nice if I could share the watch.
Yes, we can definitely do that.
And can you cook? Because I'm a terrible cook. I'm more like, I'm very good at brewing. People say it's in our blood. But cooking, not so
Dwarven
much.
beer is most famous and very nice, I have to say. Yes, sure, we can cook. That is not a problem. So we will have a nice stew that we can set up.
That's good, because my wife keeps saying that I need to find somebody to cook for me while I'm traveling, because when I get home, I've always lost a lot of weight. And for a dwarf, he does look less portly than most that you have seen.
Okay.
Yeah. He's
Awesome.
still heavy set, but by no means the normal
But he doesn't
dwarf.
have the big
No.
belly, basically. Okay.
But he's got a beautifully bearded, a beautifully braided beard.
Mm-hmm.
Very well kept.
Then we will meet each other tomorrow morning. When
Yes,
the sun
I'm leaving
is
at about
rising.
7:00.
Perfect. We will
so-
be there. And then let's go. Thank you so much, sir. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. It was nice meeting you, and we'll see each other tomorrow. And the two of you leave?
Yeah, I would basically ask if I could have the map just for like an hour. Then I would bring it home. I will make a copy, and then I will bring the original back. And
Yeah. And that's not going to be a problem. You don't need to roll, because you do have time, and it doesn't have to be kind of like picture perfect. It just needs to show the distances. And there is a scale on the map, and you can just basically use basically anything that you can measure distances with.
oh, and Min, we need bedrolls. I didn't honestly even think about that. So we should maybe visit again.
How about you copy the map and I get the bedrolls, because I've got one.
Okay, yeah, that would be lovely if you could. Just and Lara will just put probably like 10 gold in her hand. If it's not enough, then just yeah.
She takes it and she walks away, and as you are drawing, you have a visitor, because of course the little cat lady, darling, basically wants to sit and see everything
That is
that you
fine.
have.
I will give like stroke
Scritches.
and we'll carefully copy everything that I can see. And in her mind, it's as soon as we are in Red's Cross, there people should know if it's dangerous to go through the forest, because it looks like the shorter route, or if we'd rather go the official way, basically around, or if they will yell at us that we are stupid people going to Nocturne, which Lyra honestly expects will happen, but okay.
Okay, so she comes back and she hands you, you gave her 10 gold coins, she gives you 9 back, and she says, it was just 1 gold.
Oh, awesome. She'll put it away. Then let's go through what we have to. Let's see if we need to buy anything more for food. I think by now, yesterday they already collected quite a bit on bread and things like that they could take for traveling. And potatoes and a few things like that. And I think then it will be a quiet evening at home by the fireplace, eating leftovers basically that needs to be eaten.
Okay, so basically it is a very quiet evening. She drinks her weird tea again, and she plays a little bit with Darling, and she starts working on your cat medallion that she said she was going to make you because you wanted a cat. So she's basically whittling away at that, and then after a while she's like, okay, it's
let's go to bed. We need to get up early.
Yeah.
Yep. And we will go to bed, get a little bit of sleep. To be up probably latest at 6 a.m. to put everything together. I think Lyra will be up probably even earlier, just to make sure downstairs and shop everything is like it should be, putting everything away that it looks neat and clean. And then saying goodbye to Darling.
Darling is Darling realizes that you are about to leave. And she's extra cuddly.
I will cuddle her definitely, and will tell her we will be back. It's just a job I have to do, and if you don't want to stay here, you can also come with us. That's your decision.
She looks at you and she makes a decision, and it's quite clear. She is basically packing herself into the bag, into the rucksack, and basically just the head sticks out.
Okay, so we will travel, but I hope that the dwarf should be fine with the cat.
You come to the inn, and
I would leave a message in the shop downstairs. First of all, again, a big thank you to all of them helping out, and they should feel free if they need anything. They are free to take it. Please just don't eat all the bonbons at one time because it will not be good. And they shouldn't worry about the cat. The cat is traveling with us, so they don't have to worry about her. Not that they come to the shop and look for the cat. The cat is gone.
And she so basically you arrive, and he's already getting ready, and he's like, you are way more punctual than my wife.
Well, we need to leave in time, so obviously
that's what I tell her. And then we go to the opera, and she's 10 minutes late here and then 5 minutes late there. It's yes.
Just to be open about it, we are 3 now, but she will not make any problems, and Lyra will just turn around with the cat hat sticking out of the backpack.
Oh, a traveling companion. Splendid. I love cats. They keep away the mice from the hops and that I need for brewing my beer. I really love cats. We've got plenty of those at home. And he basically puts out her finger, and she sniffs the finger, and then when she sniffs it, then he realizes it's okay, and then he gives her a little stroke between the ears.
So, Darling, this is Grimbeard. Grimbeard, this is Darling.
Oh, it is very nice to meet you, and he bows deeply.
Oh God, I don't think anyone ever bowed to her.
Well, she is a queen, being a cat, and so basically he says, all aboard! And but you know, he's you can tell that he has made room. There are lots of, he's even got cauldrons, you know, so he's got a lot of metal cauldrons, pans and pots, but you can see that he has made space for you two to sit. And he's even basically propped up 2 planks of wood so that nothing can fall. And it's a bit difficult climbing up, but he lends you a hand, and basically Lyra just, let's see, she should be able to just jump up. On a 17, yeah, I don't even need to check, but she will definitely just vault onto it because that is her thing.
Min, you mean, not Lyra.
Sorry, Min with
Yeah.
acrobatics 5. She has a
Lyra
22.
is not vaulting anywhere.
No.
She will climb up. Well, the dex is okay, but yeah.
And basically then the two of you sit down and he says, well then, this is Blossom and Petal, my 2 horses.
We would have given the horses hello before we would have climbed in. So a little bit of nose rub.
And then he also gets onto the carriage and he... And then he shakes the reins a little, and then the 2 horses are a team. They are used to this. They just start moving. There's a little bit of a shudder as the coach starts moving, and then very soon you get into the clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop rhythm, which is actually almost hypnotic. So it's almost a little bit, the weather, let's take a look on a D6. Even it's good weather. It's cool because it's leaf fall, but it's the sun's coming up, the mist is slowly fading, and it promises to be a beautiful day. And so with the sun shining and the rhythm of the moving wheels, it's relaxing. So you can tell Min at least is completely relaxed. She's sitting there looking out and says, wow, this is nice.
It's really nice. So the little first bit Lyra knows because she traveled there already, because that's basic different direction, but
yeah, because you were coming from the north, going south, and now you're going back north again.
And as soon as we are at the corner where to the left it basically goes to where Lyra is coming from, and to the right there is new. Everything is new for her as well.
And so you make good time, and after a while you can give me a D6.
A D6. That's a 3.
The road is coming up to a bend, and suddenly you hear a wonderful potential customers. Ladies, gentlemen, you are looking for a hat? I've got hats because I'm Hattie. I'm Hattie of Hattie's Hattery, and this is my hattery with my hat collection. And you drive round the bend, and on the corner of the bend is a pink and purple painted wagon. On it says Hattie's Hattery, and it's even written in green on pink purple background. And there's a woman, maybe in her 50s, with puffy red curls. And basically she's got like almost like a witch's hat on it. So and the hair is just so big that it basically it falls down over her shoulders, and the hat can hardly contain it. And she's like, yes, this is me, Hattie, and I make the best hats in all of Caldara. West of Linolin, south of Linolin, east of Linolin, across the ocean, I make the best hat. Well, I can't really say about the across the ocean part because I've never been, but in these here parts, I make the best hats. And I see a master dwarf and with no hat. Sir, at this time of year, every gentleman should be wearing a nice hat with ear flaps so as not to lose their ear to frostbite. And 2 young ladies also without hats. I wouldn't be Hattie if I could actually accept this.
Didn't Min have something for her hair?
She has a straw hat against the rain, but she's not wearing it at the moment because it's kind of wide and a little bit
Honestly,
cumbersome.
Lyra will have a wool hat on because she made it herself, quite sure. But not a proper hat or anything like that.
It's like a woolly hat, like Mütze, cap.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Lyra will stay in the wagon a peek because she doesn't need anything. Not sure. Looking at Min, do you need anything?
I'm not sure
I
about
can
a
make
hat.
you, if you want to have the same as I have, I can make one until tomorrow.
Grimbeard stops the cart and he says, "Well, do you mind if I look? I mean, not for myself,
No,
but my
feel
wife
free.
might like a little gift."
And maybe have a look if she needs a pot.
Oh, that's a very good thinking. So he climbs down and he walks over to Hattie, and the two of them engage in lively conversation. And she basically goes to the side of the wagon, and basically it's got a flap that comes up. She's got like a little bit of a pulley system going there with a handle.
I think we should maybe at least look. Come on, Min. And Lyra would climb out of the wagon, at least to have a peek.
Okay, so
shopping?
in this cart, you can see all manners of hats, caps, even sleeping caps with a really long tail, but also really fancy hats, like hats that are really small, that would fit on the side of one's head, and then with a veil, like that only comes down to the nose. Wide-brimmed hats, which only a wizard would find interesting. But the one thing you notice is they're all extremely colorful and colored in a way that kind of might clash. So you're not quite sure if this is deliberate, or maybe she has a problem distinguishing certain types of colors.
I think she just loves colors.
Or she just simply loves weird colors. And basically Grimbeard explains that his wife has the most beautiful red hair and red beard that any woman dwarf has ever had, so it needs to be something that accentuates the redness without clashing with it. So they settle on a blue and yellow hat with kind of like a little. It's more like a bonnet. And then the two of them get talking, and he explains to her that he sells pots and pans, and then she comes over and she takes a look at what he has on offer, and basically she also buys something off him and he buys something off her, and she even has those hat those special containers that you put hats in. And so he comes home to the car with one, and it basically even says Hattie's Hattery on it. And then basically he bows deeply to her and she waves at you, and then she says, we'll see each other again, because there is no hats like Hattie's hats. And you go up on the cart again, and the travel resumes.
And I will pull out now out of my backpack and trying to fight Darling, not to play with it. I will pull out the first ball of yarn and 2 needles. No, 1 needle. She will crochet because I personally cannot be bothered with knitting. So Lyra will not be knitting. She will crochet, and she will start to work on a little woolly hat for Min.
Okay.
And she has to live with it. It will be bright blue, because that's the only color Lyra put in.
Well, I mean, she's got purple hair, so she's got pink hair, so it'll be fine. So after a couple more hours, night begins to fall, and Grimbeard says, well, I would go for another hour, and then I would say, let's seek shelter and find a good place to stay and spend the night, and then first thing tomorrow at first light we'll resume our travels. Is that agreeable?
That sounds perfect. Perfect. I think Lyra and also Min in between, they would like a little bit standing in the wagon but hanging out to have a peek around, just also to make sure no one sneaks in from the back or something like that.
Then make a perception check.
And also to learn a little bit more about the surroundings. Because we don't know that much. 13.
Why did I roll 2 d20s? What kind of a game is this where you roll 2 d? Oh, she rolled a 2.
Well, maybe she has advantage. We
No.
don't know.
She sees nothing. I mean, she sees plenty of things, but nothing of import.
Okay.
Nothing to report. You don't see. You see the occasional redbreast. You see a couple of crows, but they seem to be different crows because they're completely ignoring you. And yeah, and that's it. So nothing to report really. And then at some point he pulls over and he says, "Okay, I'm now gonna untether the horses, and then you can, if you want to get started on the food."
Yes. We will set up the food, and it's. Do you want to collect some wood? Should I collect wood? Whatever you like.
On a 15, she finds plenty of wood, which is also dry enough to be used straight away. And she says, and I got some for tomorrow as well, because God knows where we will be staying if we go somewhere that we have some firewood as well.
That sounds brilliant. And Lyra would have a little pot hanging off her backpack. She's not very practical, I have to say. So her backpack did not look like light luggage that you could carry around. It's basically she squeezed in everything she could.
Okay.
And the rest is hanging outside.
Do you want to look for water, or do you use water from your flasks?
No, I would look for water if we can find anything nearby.
Okay, so what's your survival score?
Blank 0.
Okay, in that case, you can roll. And Min will assist.
I have a natural 20.
Okay, in that case, you don't need any assistance because Lyra is still basically sitting there looking at her kindling, and you're like, "Oh, I found water! I found a well! It's fresh!" You find fresh water. It's really a well, and it tastes wonderful.
Awesome.
Okay. So you basically fill the little kettle, you start heating water, and the horses are being taken care of. And then he says, "All right, so I've got provisions, and if you would do the cooking, then I will open this keg." And of course, he's a dwarf, he's a brewer, he's got his own barrel of beer on his cart.
We have everything for a nice stew, so we will have a stew going with a little bit of. I think for today we probably brought a little bit of meat because we knew we would cook this evening, and then some potatoes, some carrots, some onions, a little bit of here, a little bit of there.
And basically, so you just sit there and you share a meal when you hear clip clop, clip clop, clip clop. You
Another
see
wagon, horses?
Yes, a small cart that is pulled by a donkey, and next to the cart you see 2 half-elven men, and they are basically and they pull up beside you and they say, "Oh, well met. Do you mind if we share a fire with you? We've got provisions as well."
But inside check. Just checking if I have anything that could properly help. No. So let's do the blasphemy of inside check just to see. I have the feeling, no, he's so truthful.
Well, I
totally
mean,
truthful.
You look at the 2 men, and they are, I mean, half elves. They are really hard to find out their age, because while their lifespan isn't as long as full elves, they age, you think, a little bit more slowly. So they could be anywhere between 30 and 45. And they both carry bags on their backs, which the type of bag you've seen before, they usually house harps. So you're probably talking to minstrels. And they say, well then, will you have us? And Grimbeard is like, of course, if the ladies are in agreement, then you may share our fire.
Sure, we also have a little bit of stew over if you would like.
Oh, and the two of them look at each other and they were like, well, we will repay you. And they say, but, and one of them says, I will just take care of Hana. And he leads the donkey to the horses and removes the reins, and then talks to the animal. And apparently the name of the donkey is Hana. And then the remaining man says, well, I'm Sylvain, and this is Roland. And Grimbeard says, oh, you're not the Sylvain and the Roland. And he kind of blushes and he's like, I'm afraid we are. Oh, well, in that case, I expect the Ballad of the Lonely Dwarf. Of course, the Ballad of the Lonely Dwarf coming right up.
Lyra, with a raised eyebrow, look at Min, just like, what is happening?
Min is like, I don't know, this is your culture, not mine.
Honestly, I have never heard of them.
Lyra
will think very hard if she heard anything about them. I'm not sure if with intelligence, maybe she can recall
intelligence,
anything?
history, intelligence, performance. Just roll.
Intelligence. No, 14-ish.
No, you're from Linolin. Yes, you have heard of them. So these are Sylvain and Roland. You have never seen them, but you have heard of Sylvain and Roland. Sylvain and Roland are a beloved pair of minstrels known across Caldara for their heartbreakingly beautiful ballads, which they write for one another or for anyone who's heartbroken. And basically, I always think that they are the Ada Moor of Caldara.
Yeah, it sounds like that. So after a little while, Lyra is just, oh, I think I might, I never saw them, but they're doing like cheesy love songs.
Min looks at you. All right. And then the two of them settle down. They have some of the stew. They also have wine, which they offer. And Grimbeard basically decides that a little bit of wine, and he has some wine, and the two of them look at you, and they also offer you some wine.
Yeah, a little bit, not too much, but like a little bit at least to keep warm.
And then Grimbeard is like, don't forget about the Ballad of the Lonely Dwarf. No, not at all. And they unpack their instruments, and then they tune them, and then they start singing a ballad, the Ballad of the Lonely Dwarf, which takes about 45 minutes. And let's do a performance check. Oh, a natural 20.
Yeah, they know what they are doing. Still, Lyra would be working on the hat for Min in parallel.
But it is a really beautiful. I mean, the two of them have beautiful tenor voices. It is really beautiful. The tune is melancholy and sweet, but very bittersweet. The story itself is a very bittersweet story of a dwarf whose whole clan gets eaten by a dragon, and basically then he wanders lost and forlorn until he comes upon a mountain, and he goes to that mountain, and the mountain tells him that he is not alone, because he is off the mountain, and he stays there for the rest of his life, which is several hundred years, and he and the mountain are very happy together. And basically the morale of the story is you have to look inside, and if you love yourself, then love is just around the corner. And then they sing a couple of songs that they wrote for each other. And some of them are kind of like really, like lively songs about travels that they have undertaken together. And some are more about, the future that the two of them hope that they will have together when they are older, and so on and so forth. And it's really good music. They really know what they're doing. And Min is really paying close attention because to her this is new. She has never seen anyone perform like this. And so for a couple of hours, the two of them while away the time for you, and it's good entertainment, and it's easy to crochet with this going on in the background. So, and then after a while, the two of them just decide that now is the time for them to go to bed, because they want to make it to, because they were actually coming from Red's Cross.
Oh, okay.
Down the road towards you. And they go to bed. And then Grimbeard says, okay, so about the watch. I will take first watch, and then the two of you can take watch whenever you like. I'm going to wake one of you, and then you can wake the other.
I can do the middle one. Just wake me up, and then Min can do the last one.
Okay, so basically you get a long rest. And you go to sleep.
When I do my watch and hand over to Min, I would hand her over a hat.
Oh. She puts it on.
Her hand.
And she's happy. You can tell. She really kind of like, and it's soft and it's warm, and she really likes it.
Then, nothing to report. I will go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep.
And she'll just plonk herself. We'll take the kitten.
And then basically after, whenever, before dawn, you hear her, well, actually, let's see. Yes. On an 11 on her stealth, because your passive perception is, what is it? 10 or 12?
That high. 10.
Okay. Oh well, then you. Okay, how does it work again? I have to roll over.
If you're higher, then I can't hear.
Okay, so you don't hear her cooking because she's got an 11. But then after a while, you feel a little tapping on the shoulder. Food's ready.
Oh. Good morning.
And then she wakes up Grimbeard. Grimbeard also yawns and gets up. And the two minstrels have also gotten up, and they have made their own breakfast, and they're now offering you bread.
Oh, thank you.
And so the five of you share a meal, and then the two minstrels wish you a pleasant journey and hope that they will see you again, and and that the road may rise to meet you, and then they're off. And then Grimbeard also asks you to get on, and basically he reins in the horses, and then everything gets going again.
Awesome. So we will again keep our eyes open in between as well, just peeking out.
Then make a perception check.
Especially also because here we definitely do not know how everything is looking, so everything is new. 18.
Okay. You do notice that the weather is also still nice, but you're also noticing that you are now that the country is rising, so it's getting a little bit colder. And in the distance, if you were to look around, you would see that there is also forest that you're basically moving towards. And Grimbeard will tell you that Red's Cross was once built because the person who founded it was a gnome who felt that this would be a perfect logging settlement, but it never worked out. So logging was done, and there's also, and as you know, there is another village in the forest behind it, Trudit. But the logging never took off because it is too far away from Linolin, and the logging then started to happen in Homlet instead.
Okay.
So yes, people live there, but it's by no means as important as the gnome would have hoped. And yeah, that's the story of Red's Cross, really.
Grimby, do you know if Red's Cross does have an inn or any place we can stay?
Oh, it does have an inn. It does have an inn.
Okay, perfect.
It's called
Also-
the Jumping Trout. I don't know why, because there's no trout in that river, but hey.
The Jumping Trout. Have you ever been to Nocturne?
Oh no, I wouldn't go there because I mean it's too far away, and I've been to Shadowvale and Trudit. I mean Trudit was a bit of a trek to get there because I had to actually leave the horses and the cart behind, and I had to walk.
Can you make it in a day to Trudit from Red's Cross?
Well, I suppose you can. Yes. Yeah. It's doable. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I did it in a day,
Yeah.
and
So
I
it's
was
walking
carrying stuff.
through the forest. Obviously, then no horses or definitely not a carriage. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a place to stay, Min. The Jumping Trout.
And basically then, after a couple of hours, he says, well, Red's Cross coming up, so probably just another half hour. You can see it already in the distance.
Hanging out, probably both of us next to each other, just like hanging there, watching.
And you can see houses, but you can also see smoke coming out of the chimneys. So
Chimneys.
yeah, and the sun is already sinking in the west, and then you finally arrive, and he takes you straight to the Jumping Trout because that's where he's gonna stay.
Perfect.
And peddle his wares, and then he's gonna stay there for one day, and then another night, and then he's gonna go back.
Okay. Then we will enter the Jumping Trout with him and ask for a room with 2 beds.
You get that? It's not a problem. And basically, then you're told that this is 2 gold, but that includes breakfast and evening meal.
Perfect. Yeah, we will pay that.
And then it's the inn is lively. And you see all manner of folk. You see gnomes, you see humans. There are a couple of dwarves there, and he will actually not stay at the Jumping Trout. He just goes there for dinner and to stable his horses because he's actually going to stay with a local dwarf family.
And then we will say our goals. Maybe we'll eat dinner together.
Oh, I'd love that.
Then we would, and afterwards say our goodbyes.
And then basically you have dinner together. The food is good. It is not trout, but it's fish with mushrooms and potatoes and some green beans. It's good fare, and you notice that they really like their herbs, so it's very tasteful.
Right, that sounds good. I think in between Lyra would get up and ask whoever's behind the bar. And just lean over. I'm just curious. We have to travel to Nocturne. Is there anyone here that you know that might know the way there and could give us a little bit of tips and tricks? And also looking exactly how the person is reacting to the idea that someone wants to go to Nocturne.
The person behind the bar is a man, a human man by the name of Miles Trimble, who introduced himself earlier to you as the owner and proprietor of the Jumping Trout. And he says, well, I mean, you could go. I mean, there are 2 ways that you can really go. You can either take the long way round, or you can go
the short.
through the forest via Trudit.
Do you know if Trudit has a place to stay as well, where we could get a bed at least?
Well, I'm pretty sure that you can stay in, even if it's just a barn. I'm not sure if they do have a guest house, but I'm not sure if you can stay there.
Okay.
Because I've only ever been there like once, and you know, that was a long time ago. But yeah.
Do you get any stories from like Trudit or also Nocturne in the latest? Has anything happened there?
I haven't heard anything for a long time.
Okay.
I have to say that, you know, the Truditers tend to keep to themselves. You know, it's... and then somebody says, oh, well, that's not quite true. It's like they all have a chip on their shoulder because we didn't want to buy their wood when they did the logging, because we were doing the logging ourselves, and then all of the logging was done out of Homlet. Yeah, old story. Well, having said this, yes, they do have a chip on their shoulder.
Okay.
But I mean, they're decent folk. I mean, it's not like they're criminals or anything, but, you know, they keep to themselves. And they also, you know, trade a lot with Shadow Vale. Shadow Dale.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you planning on going there?
Yes, we have to. So we will go through the forest tomorrow and see if we can at least get a roof over our head.
Well, I mean, you can't really miss it because, I mean, there is... you just follow the path northwest of... you know, you just go to the northeastern edge of the village and then you just follow the path. You can't miss it.
Awesome. And the food is amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I cooked it myself.
And Lara will go back to Min and will tell her what she heard.
Okay. So basically, you then have a nice evening. There is some... at some point, people will break out the cards and will start playing cards. Will you also play, or do you just watch? Or do you go to
just
bed?
Watch.
Okay.
Just watch a little, just to be part of this, and then not going to bed too late, because we will head out early in the morning, just to be sure that we are not walking in the forest when it's dark.
Okay. So you basically make your way to the bed, to the bedroom. It's nice, it's comfy, and you have a good night's sleep. And the next morning you wake up early, you have your breakfast, and then you walk to the edge of the village, and then, I would say Red's Cross is actually a town, like Homlet, smaller than Homlet, but it's more like a town. But it is right on the edge of a very, very dense forest. And then much bit denser than the forest that you had to walk through when you went into the mushrooms. And it's a little bit of a... maybe it's also the weather. It's also the fact that it's, you know, like the sun's going down early and it rises late. I
will cast light on my quarterstaff. So I'm basically carrying a little golden light to at least make it a little bit nicer.
And then you make your way into the forest.
And we will keep eyes and ears open for wolf howling, bears, whatever is around here.
Then make a perception check for me, please.
A 9.
Okay.
Lyra is whistling a song. She doesn't hear anything.
Oh. Okay, I rolled a 19 plus 2, so we're looking at a 21.
Nice.
Min suddenly stops and says, "Shh, look over
I will
there."
stop singing immediately.
And she basically nods towards a little You know, there are also vines there hanging from the trees, and you can see that 2 of these vines are basically shaking.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone in there.
Should we say hello?
Yes. It would be rude not to.
Hi, can we help you?
You.
And she will use... No, she can't. Let me see. No, that's a wrong spell. Oh yeah, I can basically use my illusion to make it even a little bit more as if an echo is carrying for a little while, at least in that direction.
And you hear a.
Oh boy. Okay, can we help? You just have to come out. We are friendly.
I wanna go home to my dad. And out of the vines steps a tiny green dragon wormling,
Oh,
crying her eyes out.
I hope your dad nearby.
I don't know, we played hide and seek and I thought I was gonna be, and only today I was able to do this. And she spreads her wings and starts flapping them, and you wouldn't call it flying, but there's some hovering, and then and I kind of got lost and I don't know where he is now, and it's cold and I'm alone.
Oh, you're not technically any more, and it's light still, kind of. It's still. I'm Lyra, and that is Min. What's your name?
I'm Petunia.
Where is your home? Do you have any idea of a direction? Because you will not live in one of the cities around here, I
I
suspect.
have no idea.
So, what's the name of your dad? It's Dad?
No, well, I call him that, but maybe if you meet him, you should call him Cleo Bell.
Okay, Cleo Bell. You were playing hide and seek in the forest?
Yeah.
Then let's see.
You see, Mom's away on a girls' weekend, and Dad said we were gonna play some games, and so we did. And then I got lost in the forest I was hiding so well, and I don't know, maybe I got carried away and whatever, and I just want to go home.
Then let's see if we can find him. I suspect. How far does we can try and see, and create a sound or an image of an object. Well, let's try at least something. Lyra will focus, and she will look up, and she will do a minor illusion of a little Petunia. Mm-hmm. And she will try to basically let it appear as high up 30 feet in the sky as she can.
Okay.
So she would look for a little piece where we could peek between the trees, at least halfway. Mm-hmm. And she would try to make like... And it stays up for... Well, it's more a blink, because it's just there for an action, I think.
Yeah, but outside of...
No, duration is a minute. It's a minute long,
okay.
It would be up.
Mm-hmm.
And I would repeat that a few times, because it's a cantrip. I can repeat it.
Okay, so he's got a perception plus 12. So on his 14 plus 12, it's a 26. You suddenly hear a...
I think we found him, or he found us, rather. Should we hide? Not that he thinks we're food.
No, why would he?
Well, we have a lot of evil stories about dragons.
I'm not evil,
I
and
will
my dad
carefully-
isn't either.
But
she
he's
basi-
coming. Can't you hear it? He's coming. You don't have to cry anymore.
You can hear it, and you can also feel it because, and you can hear a couple of things. You can hear massive wings, and you can also hear breaking boughs and of trees, and then you feel the wind, and you see a huge shadow descend, and before you descends an adult copper dragon. And he looks at you as only a dragon
Lara
can.
will make a very deep bow and will kick Min to the side. Say,
Min is actually way ahead of you. She's doing a kotao.
or that. And see, Petunia? We found him.
Petunia, I've been looking all over for you. And the massive head of this creature is like, I don't know, 10 times the size of Petunia. And Petunia runs towards him and basically clings to his snout and gives him a big kiss and hugs the head. And she can't even basically grasp the head, so she can only hug his snout, really. And then and then she climbs on his head and sits between, like the crest of horns that he has. And he looks at you through his slit eyes and he says, "And who have we here? Mortals." They found me and they sent for you. You saw the dragon, the little one? That was her. And she points to you with her clawed finger.
I just wanted to help. Your daughter looked quite desperate.
Well, she got carried away, methinks. I did a little. But
Well,
look! And she jumps
perfect
from his
hiding.
head and starts flying. Oh, well, your mother will be so pleased. But I interrupted you. I am sorry.
She did the perfect hiding. Technically, you didn't find her.
And he breathes in and he sneezes. And she hid behind fey vines, which mask her smell. Very, very astute young dragon. Well, you have returned that which is most precious to us. Take this. And he takes his huge claw and just basically and lifts it and grabs the thin air, closes it, and then turns over his claws and opens it, his hand as it were, and in it you find a ring.
Thank you. I will carefully step forward to take it.
He waits for you to take it, then he withdraws his claw.
It was nothing to help her. It was obviously the right thing to do.
Not everyone would look kindly upon a green dragon.
She is still small. She might turn out to be a good dragon, I suspect, maybe. At least so far.
He looks at you and he says, "Her mother certainly is."
I know there are a lot of bad stories about green dragons, but, well, it's just stories. Everyone is different.
Well then, Petunia, are you ready to ride home? And Petunia, she tries to fly up, but flying down was one thing, flying up is quite another, and then basically he scoops her up in his mighty hands, puts her on his head, and then he says, "Hold on." And he spreads his wings, takes down a couple of trees in the process, and flies off.
I'm just staring at the ring. Okay, we will have a look at the ring later, maybe tonight. And I will just put it in my jacket pocket, in the inside pocket.
Mm-hmm.
We should keep moving, we lost time.
You did. You make your way.
A bit more speedy, I think, than we did before.
Yeah. And then you basically after a while you see a couple of people walking across, like from your right to your left across the path. They see you, they hail you, they stop. And they're like, oh, fellow travelers, do tell, have you seen any firefoxes traveling?
Firefox? What should that be?
Oh, they're like this big, very long bushy tail, white masked face and red body.
No, we only saw dragons, so you should be careful in the woods.
Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? They saw dragons. Well, then maybe we will be lucky and find the firefoxes if you're so lucky as to finding a dragon. See you
Are they
soon.
looking like hunters?
Make a perception check.
14.
You don't see any weapons at all, but each of them has kind of like a stone dagger by their side.
I hope you don't want to hunt them. I'm quite sure they're holy animals.
Well, of course we don't hunt them. We're here to protect them.
We don't have to understand, but okay. Have a nice walk.
We are druids from the Vargaville Wood Conclave. This is our forest. Well, we serve the forest, technically speaking, and we try to keep the foxes from being hunted. Now is the season, and they migrate.
Druids from what where? And she's just like trying. I'm highly sure it's not on the map.
No, I actually don't think it is even a place. It's more like the name of the coven or conclave that they work
So it
for.
was the druids of.
I'm gonna paste it into the...
We never heard of you guys.
Well, you are not druids, are you?
No.
You see, druids basically, we have different conclaves, and this is our one.
Okay. So you can turn into animals or things like that?
The person smiles at you. Yes.
That's helpful sometimes.
It is.
We are traveling, well, more north to the castle. Have you ever been around there?
The castle is in the mountains. It's far away from our forest. We don't go there, and maybe you shouldn't either.
Well, sadly, I have to for a job, but thank you. Have a successful search.
If you see them, will you make sure that they cross the path safely?
Sure.
You will see what I mean when you encounter them.
Eyebrow raised. Look to Min, and then like, oh, okay. Well, we have to move on before it gets dark and we are stuck in the middle of the forest and die. So thank you.
Of course. And they walk away from you. And now you can say odd or even.
Always odd.
20. That was even. Okay.
Even.
So after a while, now it's really already night is falling, and you arrive at, or you can see that there's a clearing in the forest that you're approaching, and you can also see the village, Trudit. And it's a bit odd because the village is quite crowded. You see lots of people walking around and lots of people on horses. And they're all wearing traveling cloaks.
Okay.
Make a perception check.
Alright. What's horses? Perception. 8. I see people walking around with some of them on horses.
Yes, very much so.
And isn't it odd that there are so many people around here?
Yeah, especially since this is supposed to be almost dead.
Well, let's get closer, because we need a place to stay. I don't want to sleep in the woods.
On a 19, she actually says, oh, that looks like an inn of some sort. And there is a house that is kind of like really, I mean, all windows are lit up with lights. The door is open. You can hear talking. Do you go inside?
Yes.
You go inside.
Does it have a sign outside and a name?
It used to have a sign. So basically there is the bracket that the sign would have been in, but the bracket's empty.
Okay, then we just walk inside.
It looks like an inn, so there's a bar and everything, and you see lots of people. And now you can give me an insight check to see, can you read the room?
Nope.
What is it with you? And okay, on a
that's
natural
all my
one, Min is like,
my
this is
wisdom
supposed to be
is-
like this.
Is 0. I have not much experience in life. That's why
Okay, so Min
she's
rolled
just...
a 1. She knows nothing. She's like, oh, this is cozy. So many people. Hey, let's hope that we still have a room.
Yeah, so walking to the bar is always the way to go. So walking up to the bar to ask for something maybe to eat, drink, and to ask what is happening here, and to ask if there is a place where we can sleep for the night.
Behind the bar is a woman, and she looks at you and she says, as you can see, the house is full. We've got very many people coming from Shadowdale these days.
Why? We heard it should be quite, well, uncrowded here.
People are fleeing. Ask them. I can put you up in the barn. There's still some room
that
there.
would be lovely. A roof over the head would be.
Yeah.
Do you have some food and something to drink?
I've got some oatmeal cakes.
Yeah.
And some buttermilk to go with it, and some cheese. And of course
That
beer.
would be perfect. Perfect, thank you.
2 gold each.
Holy moly.
Do you want to bargain?
Yes. She would look like, well, you have filled up. I highly doubt it. Well, if everyone's paying that much, you're making a lot of money. 2 gold is a lot. We don't have that much. Can we do anything to lower the price?
Make a persuasion check.
Um, 12. So amazing.
Okay, she rolled a 15. She looks at you, eyebrow raised.
Well, maybe we will just take a drink then, and the roof over the head. How much would that be?
1 gold each.
How much for just the roof over the head?
She laughs. 8 silver each. Min says, should I think this is daylight robbery?
Well, it is a little. So, silver, it is. I will pay 16 silver.
Mm-hmm.
And she will not get a penny more. Oh god, now I need to calculate it. 10 gold or 10 silver, right?
No, 10 silver is 1 gold.
10 silver is 1 gold. Okay, so we have 6. And how much was it? 16 silver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, paid. And which one are from out from? I really need the map. I can't remember how the places are called. What was it? Shadow.
Shadowdale.
Shadow. Okay. Although with Shadowdale, I think we have all.
So you're here in Trudit, and Shadowdale is up here, so people would have traveled this way.
Okay. Oh, it's online already. Okay, then I can just go there. Then you can unshare, and I can just open that in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
This is who. Which people are from Shadowdale?
She points to, in the general direction of a group of people who are huddled together, and even without rolling, you see that they look very harried and very, they're like talking in quiet voices, hushed, and they look very insecure.
Excuse me. We
Yes?
were curious what is happening. Usually, well, we are from more Red's Cross area and a little bit south. What is happening in Shadowdale? We haven't heard anything happening that is worth running away from.
There is something happening. People are dying and people are vanishing, so we decided to leave, and 2 other families as well. There is 10 of us in total.
They are dying? Is there like a sickness going around, or?
Well, it all started on the 27th. Like, Bart Perkins. He vanished, like a burly fella, real strong, like, and he just didn't come home one night. And then people went looking for him. Thought that maybe he'd gotten himself injured in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't return. So more people went, and they found 2 dead bodies. Like, people had just died, They were not injured, they were just dead. So they brought back the dead bodies. And then on the 1st of Leafall, Tamsin Brooks, she just vanished. Like, from her house. Nobody knows where she went, Nobody saw her go out, but she's just gone. And then the next day it was Ivan Costello, and he just vanished. And then it was Costello's wife, and she just died, So we just found her in the street one morning, and she was dead. And I was like, I'm not staying. This is like, there's something really weird going on. And I've got folks in Red's Cross, so I said, okay, we're leaving. And then these 2 families over there, they just said, we're coming too. I mean, they are, they're gonna go on to Linolin. They are artisans. They can find a job there. Everything's better than that, because it's like, and then there are those people who just basically from one day to the next, they fall really ill and they're really weak. It's like a plague.
That sounds like you definitely did the right choice to flee that place and move on. Well, I'm sorry that this is happening to your hometown.
Yeah, it's like terrible.
And Lyra would pull back. Let's set up camp. Basically.
It's not easy to find. Well, I mean, you're setting up camp. So make a survival check for me.
Well, no, in the barn. So
you are going. Yes, you did pay for
staying in a barn, but still, you need to put out the bedrolls and things like that.
Yeah. You find a corner far away from everybody else where you can basically have a little bit of privacy, that people can't really overhear what you're saying. And you basically sit down and, what do you want to do?
Eating a little bit of the food that we have. The question is, should we go to Nocturne or should we rather have a peek at Shadowdale? It sounds like a little bit like what we heard what is happening. He's getting stronger by drinking of the people. Which would fit to getting weak or being dead if he takes too much.
I think we should definitely go there and see what's happening.
Right? Okay, then tomorrow morning we will head there carefully.
Okay, do you want to check out the ring?
Yes. So after we cleared that up, I would sit down and focus a little bit. And would do detect magic. No, not detect magic. Ignore me. I would do identify on it.
Okay, sorry, can you tell me again what identify does?
It's in Roll20 in chat. So basically an object, I have to take a minute, so we're in peace and quiet, and would, I know if it's a magic item, and I learn of its properties and how to use them.
Okay.
And if it needs attunement, how many charges it have, if any. So basically everything the item does.
Okay, so essentially you learn that yes, it needs attunement. Yes, it is definitely magical. And it has 3 charges. And you have a feeling as you are pondering over this ring. The ring itself is not ornate. It's simply a gold ring. You have a feeling that it is something you would be using in a fight, and you get the image of something being pushed back by the ring.
Okay. And you said it has charges?
3.
Okay.
And it regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn.
Then...
So do you actually get the full stats of this when you run Identify? Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm going to give you it.
Well, the only thing, I don't know how it's called, basically. The name I don't know, but I know exactly what it does. At least that's... Let me double check, because I used the old one. They have the spells in here. Identify. Did I change anything? Identify. Touch object. No, it's actually the same. Okay, so one question though, I'm not sure. Can warlocks do rituals? Let me double check. Just for me also. Learning again what a warlock can do. That's not it. Warlock must be in the back. Champion, fighter, ranger. Did I put? No, I did. Yes, I put. It was just. Cantrips. Doesn't say. I'm not sure if everyone can do ritual casting. That is a very good question. Well, it doesn't matter for now, because I can just hopefully regain, maybe overnight, we will see. But I will need to double check if I could have cast that as a ritual, because it is also a ritual.
Only players who choose the Pact of the Tome subclass of for their warlock characters get access to ritual spells.
Okay, so I have ritual spells because I am Pact of the Tome. Okay.
And yeah, and cast warlock spells with the ritual tag as ritual spells. Only you can do this.
Perfect. Then I don't have to cross out a spell slot for that. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect. I will share what I know about the ring with Min.
That is a powerful artifact that you've got there.
Yeah. I can box someone without really having to do anything because I'm not very strong.
So it's the perfect gift.
Oh, it's weird that only I got something. You deserved something too.
Well, I think it was for the both of us because he knows that we may need it on our travels.
If not, we can switch in between when we have time to slowly attune to it.
Well, she looks at her hands and you see basically that most of the time she actually, even when she's not wearing gloves, she has like leather gloves that end here. So she would find it really difficult to wear rings. And she says, no, I think it's right where it is.
Okay. She will put it on her finger and will attune.
How does that actually work? Do you actually kind of like ponder it, or how do
you do? I don't think it's ever really. You just take time to I don't know, align chakras. I have no idea. It's not really written down. With swords and weapons, I at least can imagine that you try to get the feel with them. So, but with a ring, I feel always it's a bit weird. But yeah.
Okay,
she would just play with it a little bit and just like polish it maybe and take her time with it.
So this is now your second attuned item?
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, as you were walking through the forest, Darling would have been walking as well. Okay. And every so often, like, you know, running to the left and right and trying to hunt a mouse or something. But then again, every so often she also wanted to just basically be carried. And she would get into the rucksack and you know, that's how she would have behaved. Okay, so you eat.
Yes.
And then the next morning you get up and you have breakfast and then you walk towards Shadowdale. Okay. Now, Shadowdale is a little ways away from where you are, so basically, you assume that it's gonna you will have to spend a night outdoors.
Then so be it.
Okay, good.
I think we would have a peek in the morning if there are any, like, if we could get a little bit of bread or something just to restock a little bit. And hopefully not for absurd prices like a gold for a piece of bread.
Then
but
make
we
a
will at least
persuasion
ask.
check.
These people here. It's a dirty 20.
Today you're not seeing the lady, it's somebody else, a young man, and he smiles at you and he gets all googly eyes because you're a really beautiful young lady, and he basically...
She's just like, okay, let's play the game so that we can get what we need.
Oh, of course, basically, are you single?
No.
Oh, well, here's your bread anyway.
Thank you very much and have a nice day.
And you hear him mumble under his breath, why is nobody ever single?
And she will give half of the bread to Min. And I don't like this place very much. The people here are using the poor people that fled to get rich on them. This is the worst thing you can do. It doesn't really tell us they have a good character.
That's true. But this young man, he was very interested in you.
Yeah, desperate would rather be the way. Okay, let's go. Sun is already up, we need to move.
So you start moving. You have to walk through the forest. There is a path which you were told you can follow. And this forest is really dark now. This is very kind of like, you also see spider webs that are a little bit bigger than maybe normal webs would be. And it is also quite quiet. So you hear your footsteps, but you know, you're walking on last year's leaves. So, and it smells of decay. This is an old forest, and you also see lots of trees by the side of the path that are basically rotting away. And there's also more land. Every so often there is, well, it's not more land behind me. It's more like you can see eyes of swamps. Yeah. And make a perception check for me, please.
And 11.
Okay. You suddenly see out of the corner of your eyes something moving.
Initial reaction for myself is that I give myself a little glow and I will have mage armor on me for the next 8 hours.
Okay. What you see is lights flickering, and they're basically moving really, really quickly. Yeah. And
Did you see that, Min?
let's see if Min saw anything. Yes, she did. Yeah, and I think I know what this is. There it is again. And there is another one. And another one. And suddenly you are faced with 5 little bobbing creature lights that come closer and closer. You are facing 5 willow wisps.
Oh, they are. Should we just say hi and walk on? I heard they are tricky to talk to.
She says, do you think that they will talk to you?
I'm not sure. We can just at least try to be friendly. Maybe they can at least feel vibe. And I will wave and smile to them. And just walk on carefully.
Okay. Then make a persuasion check.
Wisp. I can't write today. I will never be able to read what I'm writing in the next session. Wisps. No, it's a natural one.
Okay. Let's see how they react. Okay. I think it's time we rolled initiative.
Oh no.
So let's see.
How good is own deception? Is not too horrible. I have 19 initiative.
Okay. Min has a natural 20, so she definitely goes first. Min, then it's you. And then let's see how they are doing. What is initiative again? Why isn't it there? It's a d20 plus...
It's dex. It's dex, basically. Dex save.
A dex save.
Okay, no, a dex. Sorry, not a save. So, normal dex roll.
Okay, so... may I ask you to roll a d6 for me, please?
Yeah. 5.
Okay. So 2 of the will-o-wisps actually leave.
Okay.
They vanish. So the order of initiative is Min, then you, then the will-o-wisps. Min basically looks at the closest one, and she basically does what you've seen her do before. She runs towards it and does this jump kick thing that she does. So she uses unarmed strike, and on a 20 that is definitely a hit. Damage resistance halves it, doesn't it? That's halving it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. 1d6 plus 3. That's 5, so it takes 3 points of damage. But then she expends one of her martial... She has all 3 of them, actually. Well, she would have received those again. Okay. So she has 3 of those. So she's going to expend one of them, which means that she gets to and which means that she can use Flurry of Blows as a bonus action, which allows her to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So the first one is a 19, which hits. And she does, oh great, she does 4 points of damage, so that's 17. And then the second one is a 20, and that is another 4 points of damage. Okay, so then it is you.
We have 3 left, right? I will cast Suggestion on one of them. Not the one that was attacked by Min, but one of the other 2. And suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or 2. We will kill you. You should flee.
Oh, sorry, there's another one. Sorry, what I forgot. She has open hand technique. When I succeed at a flurry of blows, I can choose one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna choose 2. Try and push it back by 15 feet, and it needs to make a strength save. Okay. Against my 8+. Oh God. What is her wisdom? That is 10 plus, oh God, 12. That's okay, that's just not enough by 1, so it doesn't get pushed back. Okay, then you suggest to it that it should flee.
Yeah, and
Can it?
well, it's immune if it can be charmed. Honestly, Lyra has no idea if they can be charmed or not, so she will at least try. So if they have like charming resistance like an elf, it wouldn't work.
They don't.
And it needs to make a wisdom saving throw against 13.
On a 6, it doesn't. It fails.
Then
It moves away.
sinks in that we are dangerous, we'll kill them.
And do they start
should
reacting
flee.
or?
On a failed save, it pursues the course of action you described in the best of its ability.
Okay, so they start leaving.
Yeah, and
So-
it can work up to 8 hours. As long as I concentrate on it.
Okay, so essentially it leaves. So this leaves 2 of them. The first one is going to attack Min. On a 9, that didn't work. The second one is going to attack Min as well, because Min is the only one who's done damage so far. And on an 8, that didn't work either. Okay, so it's Min again. Min is going to use unarmed strike. And on a 21, she hits. And she does 7 points of damage. Which means it's now at 12. And then she expends the second focus point. And she does a flurry of blows. And the first one doesn't hit, the second one does. And she does another 5 points. And she will try and again push it away. And on a 15 it saves. Okay, then it's you again.
I will do a cantrip and around. I'm not sure it's an attack roll. Let me see. It is 19 to hit.
Yeah.
So basically, how it's also written down, a ghostly skeletal hand will basically enclose it. Because it's
Okay.
not that big. Usually it would just grab you, but here it would really just like... And it will take... maybe 6 necrotic damage, not sure. But that's at least the damage. And it cannot regain hit points until the start of its my next turn.
Well, in my opinion, it will take full damage because it reads damage resistances necrotic from non-magical attacks. But what you're doing is definitely
It's
a magical
magical.
attack. So how many points did you do?
6.
Okay, so basically this one is reduced to 3.
And
So-
it shouldn't be undead, right? Undead have a special thing.
It
But
is
I don't
undead.
think... Is it undead? Then it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until end of next turn.
Okay, so we shall... It will actually attack you because you just brought it this close to dying again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll with disadvantage, and which is a good thing because the first roll would have been a natural 20. So on a 15, does that hit?
Just so, because my AC is 15, yeah.
Okay, so you take 9 points of lightning damage.
Okay, and it gets something back. Let me just...
Hellish Rebuke?
Yes. And I think it's just a reaction. I don't think she really knows that she can even do this. But it's... well, it's a DC save. 13 dex.
Oh, okay. It has a 21.
Okay,
Because its dex is 28.
Yeah, then I don't think anything happens, or is it half damage? Not sure. 60 feet, creature damage you, point finger, dex saving, half damage, fire damage on a successful. So it would take 5 fire damage.
And that is enough because it's magical attacks. So
that means I am gaining hit points.
Yay!
I reduced an enemy to 0 HP. I can get 6 temp hit points. And I would need to make a concentration check, which I have at a constitution check. I have advantage on it to keep the other spell going, which is not happening. So the suggestion of leaving, best case it's far enough away, worst case it returns.
Okay, you don't know if it's returning, but the other one is attacking, and it is now making a decision. 1 to 3 is you, 4, 5, 6 is Min. On a 4 it attacks Min. And on a, oh god, that is a 12 to hit, and Min has, I really need to print off her, well, if I could print, and her armor class is definitely not 10.
No.
Her armor class is...
Although she's not wearing armor.
Yeah, but that's why she has such a high armor class, because it's this... She has... because she has no armor...
Becoming a monk. Martial arts, melee weapon, die, attacks, unarmored defense. While you aren't wearing armor, wielding a shield, your armor base equals 10 plus dex plus wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. So basically her armor class is 10 plus her dex is 5 plus her wisdom is she's got armor class 17.
Okay.
Sorry. So that's I don't know why this was wrong in there. She doesn't take any damage. The shot goes wild, as it were, and it's back up to her again. So she attacks with an unarmed strike, and on a 15 she doesn't hit, but she gets to do it again as a bonus. No, actually only if she hits, right?
I think only when she hits.
Yeah, you can use blah when you use with an unarmed strike.
Sure.
No, but it actually just says when you use the attack action with an unarmed strike, you can make
Then
one
you can,
unarmed strike.
yeah. Doesn't need to be successful, I would suspect.
And that is also not a success because she only rolled an 18 combined. So it's up to you. This one is completely unharmed.
It will be another chill touch. With a natural 20.
That hits. And double damage.
9 damage. Necrotic.
Okay, so that's good.
How is Although that is an action, right? Let me see. Like, as an action, yeah, okay. I don't have an action. Yep.
Then it's going to attack on a 1, 2, 3 min. And on a 4, 5, 6, and I rolled a 5, it's going to attack you. It's going to try and attack you. Does a 10 hit? Probably not.
No.
Okay, then it's
Plonk.
Min. She makes an attack with an 8. She misses. But on a natural 20, the second one hits. So she's going to roll 3 plus 3 is 6. That's the... How does it work again? You just roll twice.
That's your decision. I have no idea how in 24 the rule is. I know different versions. Either you roll twice or you roll once and double it. Others say with the natural 20 you do max damage. I've seen all options. Roll 20 just rolls twice.
I'd rather roll twice because max
Yeah.
damage is a lot less than she could be doing. And she does another 6 points of damage. That's halved. It's down to 7. It's over to you.
Another chill touch hand. Oh, and it had disadvantage on attack on me. Good, it didn't hit anyhow. It
you're
didn't
right.
hit anyhow.
Yeah,
but
you're right. We need to remember this.
14? Not sure if 14
No,
hits.
that doesn't hit.
I think they have a high AC if I remember correctly.
They actually have an AC of 19. I was actually quite
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah. Okay, then it's turn. 1, 2, 3 is Min. 4, 5, 6 is you. I rolled a 6, and it's got a disadvantage.
Yep.
Okay, so I assume a 10 doesn't hit again.
Mm.
Okay, then it's Min. On a 12, she doesn't hit. Let's take the other one. And on an 8, she doesn't hit either. So that didn't work. So it's up to you.
Will be the same thing. I don't think she will change it because it kind of...
Never change a winning team.
Just thinking, does she want to do that? That's 1D. No, she will do chill touch. Not really successful. She will stomp and mutter to herself like, this is not how it should work.
Okay, but she is now... the thing is now attacking you again, but it rolled a natural 1. So now we need to find out what happens when it rolls a natural 1.
It doesn't have disadvantage anymore, just in case
It's-
the one was the second roll, not the first.
We will just ignore this. It rolled
Okay.
a natural 1, and it does itself 3 points of damage. And that was magical damage, so Min. The good rolls are now gone. No, 18 is still not enough. It's up. It's you.
Okay, in case someone is hearing
I can hear it
fireworks
too,
in
yeah,
the background,
it's-
it's not imagination. Someone thinks it's already the 31st of
It's
December?
ambience.
I was like, what is what
But
am
is
I
it the
named? No,
Dome?
it's
I
not.
think it's the Dome because it's Friday. We don't
Oh, it's
usually
Fri-
play on a Friday. Yeah,
But it's a weird time. Usually it's at 10 and
I
not
thought
at
so too, but yeah.
10:30.
I would
Well,
say
might
it's
might
the
be the Dome. Yeah, might be. She will try something else because she's frustrated, and she will. Make a range attack for each ray. She will do scorching ray. 3 rays in the face.
Okay,
19.
hits.
2. So only the first one hits, I suspect. Yeah, 10 and 7 both will not hit.
No.
5 fire damage.
It is dead.
Oh, I gain
even deader.
another 6 temporary hit points. It's again 6, right? Just checking. Yeah. So 12. Looking at Min, how is she looking? Are you hurt?
No, they didn't touch me. I was too quick on my feet for them. She actually wasn't hit at all. But you,
No, I'm fine.
you were jostled by lightning. You can't be fine.
But
I saw
No,
it.
I'm feeling really good. Yeah, I know, but I'm feeling okay. Maybe it will hit me later. I'm not sure, but at the moment I feel good. Just give me a second to focus a little. And I will take a minute just to find my inner zen. And then I can regain my expanded spell slots, but only half round up, which is fun because I only have 2, so it's 1 spell slot is back. Just in case, you never know.
And how does that work level-wise? Is it like 1 per level, or how does it work? Because when you say...
Well, with each level I get more spell slots, and it's always half rounded up that I extend. So if I later on have 6 spell slots, I can regain 3 with a
and
1 minute
at any
concentration.
level. So if you expended only level 6 spell slots, you could say
I don't have slots for a level. I just have slots.
Oh,
The warlock is that's why
that's different, isn't it? Because
it's
others
different.
have,
Yeah.
Spell slots per level. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
just have
Brilliant.
slots. Yeah, and they regain.
Okay.
Why on earth are they stupid? Why did they attack us? There was no reason to do that.
I don't know, but I mean, in my world where I'm from, they don't really attack. What they do is they try to lead you astray so that you drown in the swamp. I prefer not to drown.
Stories like that also from that they can send you basically into the ocean as well if they want to do that. But what on... Well, let's keep moving and keep eyes open if there are more of them there.
Okay, so make me a perception check, please. Oh, 21.
Natural 20.
Okay, you see nothing, and after a while, the sun has gone down, and
Let's try to find a place to camp? Question mark? Or should we try to no, we need to make a... We can't do it in...
okay,
we
roll
walk through the night,
survival for me.
Which is not a thing she can do because she's never been out there. I hope Min can do a thing like that because Lyra is not for
What
the
did you
outside
roll?
world. 5.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's...
She's never been out in
21.
the wilderness. It's completely new for her.
Yeah, because you're a city slicker.
She has never slept outside.
Yeah.
Under
Is there
open
such
sky.
a thing as like streetwise? Because you have survival for outdoors. Is there anything that people in the streets can... Would that be sleight of hand?
No,
Or like...
it's also survival usually.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, she rolled a 19 plus 2 is 21. You find a nice spot that's not wet, that's quite mossy and soft, and you're now very happy that you brought kindling because you can really use it. You collect some lichen, you collect some firewood, but you notice that it's a little bit damp, so this is going to smoke. But the kindling at least is dry, so you manage to light a fire. You boil your water, you have some dinner, but it's a dismal affair. This place isn't nice.
We will hang in there. We have a little kitten that keeps us company.
Speaking of little kitten, she basically does her best to keep you company. She also goes hunting. She comes back and places one mouse before you and looks at you very pleased with herself. Then she walks away again and comes home with a second mouse, which she offers to Min. She realizes that you have not taken the time while she was gone to eat the mouse, so she looks at you a bit.
We can't eat it, darling. Do you want to have it? But thank you so much. So, scritches.
You hear a
And
voice
I
in
would
your
share
head
some
going,
water.
I don't believe it. Those huge, hairless, incompetent cats can't hunt, so I give them something and then they don't eat it. I am so unsung.
Why can I hear you? In
She
my
looks at you.
head?
And then she goes and takes the mouse.
But thank you. It's really appreciated. I know it was hard work to get them. Do you want to have a little corn of cheese?
At the mention of cheese, she drops the mouse, comes over, and smiles at you.
And stroking. So you can talk and you can.
Of course she can talk. What did you expect? She's a cat, Min says, between 2 bites.
Cats don't talk, usually. They meow, but they don't talk. And usually they don't understand. At least all the cats I've met in the city did not.
I keep forgetting that you're not telepathic.
No.
We can talk to animals as well.
And you ask her if she understands.
You know that I can't.
She can under what? Okay. Weird. Can't you read my mind as well, or is she just understanding what I say?
I don't know.
Eyeing, darling.
I doubt that she can read your mind.
Okay.
And then Darling eats the second mouse. And then she curls up next to you and starts purring.
Okay. A bit of. Do you take the first shift or do
Sure, I will take the first shift.
Okay.
And she basically sits down, legs folded, and she starts meditating.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that when she does that, she is all ears. She is fully concentrated, but you sometimes are afraid that she may die because sometimes she seems to stop breathing.
Okay.
It just, there's a long time between breaths.
To go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I will curl up and close my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. After a while, which you don't know how long has passed, somebody taps you on the shoulder and it's Min and she says, it's your shift.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will wake up. The thing is, if we do a 2-parted shift, I did not get a long rest, I suspect.
We will actually, I rule that basically this works because for a 2-player game, otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah, otherwise it would be okay.
So so I say that 5 hours will give you a long rest. So it means you do have to sleep 10 hours. So you do have to rest 10 hours.
10 hours, yeah.
But, it's like a long night. Yeah. So, but still, you will get your long rest. Yeah.
Then I will sit down, I will pull out a little bit more wool. I probably don't have that much left. And just start crocheting and having still eyes and ears open.
Mm-hmm.
And have a peek around.
Okay. Then the next morning, basically you make breakfast, the 2 of you strike camp.
Yeah.
And you keep walking. And give me a perception check.
It's so bizarre that the stats that usually are good for me are a nightmare, and I am hit by probably I don't know, I'm running into a tree.
Oh, you rolled a natural 1.
Yes.
You do fall into kind of like, basically there are a couple of you think that this is the path, but it's actually just bushes that have overgrown, and there's basically a little bit of a hole behind it. So you fall in. You're now full of mud.
Yeah, and it doesn't look elegant. It's really like the clumsiest fall, and probably I'm walking behind Min, and it's just
it's like
you just hear a squeak and a plonk and a splash and.
That's exactly what happens. Min is like, what? And she looks down. What are you doing down there?
Today is not my day.
She stretches out her hand. Come on, I'll help you up.
Take the hand and we'll get up.
She pulls you up. And essentially then
I will use prestidigitation to get clean again.
She's amazed. How did you do that?
You can't do that?
No, I have to wash.
I'll just snip, and her feet, basically everything is spot clean again.
She looks at her feet. She's like, this is amazing.
Well, it's only working for small areas, so if I want to be clean from head to toe, it's taking like a few, but yeah.
That's a great thing to be able to do.
Sometimes?
Sometimes. Grumble, grumble. And she takes point again, and you keep walking, and towards the afternoon you see Shadowdale, which is really a valley, a dale that's full of shadows, and you see a really spooky village. And it is dark, and as you descend into it, you actually see that it's very, very dark indeed. And I have an image for you. This is what Shadowdale looks like. And yes, you see lots and lots of bats. Because although it's technically still day, it's dark enough that in this valley you see lots and lots of bats. And the atmosphere is really depressing. You are now quite northerly, and it has the land has been rising steadily, and it's been getting colder. It's also been getting wetter. There hasn't been any rain. You've been lucky, but you know the whole ground is now soggy. And here you can also see that basically it must have been raining, because you know they're not even roads or paths. They're just muddy paths between houses, and people are rushing between buildings. They are basically looking over their shoulders, hushed voices, and they eye you very suspiciously. What do you do?
Smile and wave, and good day.
A woman comes towards you. Basically, she has like a cloak, and she's like, "You shouldn't be here. What do you want?"
Maybe trying to help. We met people that fled from here yesterday over in Trudit. They arrived there safely, just...
Why would you come here? This place is cursed. Only the old folks are left. The young are either dead or gone. And this woman is quite old.
Yeah. Might it be someone from the castle that is torturing you guys?
Shh.
So yes.
I didn't say anything.
No. Is there anything you need help? You said no one left.
The old folks are still left. We can't leave.
You don't want to leave.
We can't.
And why so? You can walk.
Just to end up here again.
What? The others could flee without problems. Should we pack up and we bring you to Trudit? Or to the main road?
No, actually, you should leave.
And just leave you back here.
What are you here for anyway? Nobody comes to these here parts.
Well, I have a task to do at the castle.
You don't want to be going to the castle. He's there.
I don't have a choice. I have to go there. And no, I'm not friends with him. Rather the opposite.
He's been getting stronger.
I
People
know.
have been dying.
We heard from multiple. Sadly, the gods only like to watch and not to help.
You can stay here for the night, but tomorrow you have to leave. And whatever you do, don't drink the water.
Do you need... We have a little bit fresh water left. We can share a bit with you.
For us, it's not a problem.
Okay.
And if you go to the castle and if he offers you food, don't take it.
Understood. Is it from here a day's walk up there? What does it take longer?
It's about a day into the hills, the foothills, and then the last part is up the mountains. But it's switchbacks. You should be able to do it in a day. You're young. You're just what he wants. I wouldn't go there if I were you.
As I said, I don't have that much of an option. Can I have a look at the water? You have a well or something like that, don't you?
Yeah, she takes you to the well. It's in the town square or in the village square. You pull it up and make a perception check.
No, I will detect magic on it
Okay.
to see if there's anything magical cursed on it. Or it's magical, it's not cursed, but anything magical.
Do you have to roll anything, or is it automatically a success?
It's automatically a success. It just needs to be within 30 feet of me.
Yes, it's kind of magical.
I can see the school of magic. So I would focus on if it's like necromancy is one of the schools, or if it's something else. Okay. One day I will need
abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion. It's illusion.
illusion. Huh. I would have suspected necromancy. That's interesting. I will mutter to myself, illusion. I will pull up a bucket of water from the well up, and I will just let my fingers run through it.
Mm-hmm.
Something is definitely not right with the water.
Min looks at you. What do you mean? Is it poisoned?
I don't know, it's illusion magic. Usually that's not poison or anything. That's why I thought it should be necromancy or
Okay.
alteration or something like that.
Make an intelligence check. Or Arcana.
Could
Do
I
you
do
have
Arcana? Yeah, I am proficient in Arcana.
Okay, then take Arcana for me, please.
A dirty 20, because I read books, because I had a lot of time to read books that we sold.
Okay,
Because she's smart and thinks she read and learned, she just has no wisdom.
okay, so you are smart, but you're not wise.
Yeah.
Okay, it's illusion. So you've always been told that illusion magic is trick and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be that people who drink from this well believe they can't go. Believe they can't leave. Are tricked into doubling back when they want to move away.
I will keep detect magic up, because I can keep it up for 10 minutes as long as I concentrate, and I would look around and have a peek at, stepping closer. I don't have to touch them, but closer to, I don't know, maybe the lady that we talked to, or anyone else that we can see, just to see if they have a magical aura as well.
In terms of, are they enchanted, you mean? Is magic working on them? Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also illusion?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very annoying that Ida have nothing to do against that. Where's the boss where we can use him? You should just do dispel magic and everything should be fine. Can I have a look at, with 30 feet, at one of the bats? Do they look
Magical?
Yeah, if they have
You
an
mean?
aura, like I'm not sure. Yeah, magical. If it's an illusion, she suspects they're not really there, or if it's
The
like
bats are definitely
enchantment.
there. They're
Okay.
definitely there.
Or if
And
like
they-
enchantment or so.
They don't seem to be magical.
Why are you here? You can do, Min. You said no, you can't do telepathy. That's the point, right?
That is my problem, my affliction. This is why I had to leave.
Little kitty, can you talk to bats? Ask
On
them
a
where
3,
they-
she basically decides that she isn't going to even try.
Cats. Cats. What will happen if we hurt the bats? What do you think, Min? Should we try to anger someone?
How? By killing the bats?
Not sure if he cares. We should have a peek around if there are, I suspect, probably no horses left, but come on, let's go back to the old lady. We need to get them to leave this place. I think they're entangled somehow, but they can leave.
Okay, you go back to the lady. Yeah. It's now the 11th of landfall of Leafall. And she looks at him and she says, "I told you to leave. What do you still want here?"
Oh, you told us we could stay overnight and we could leave
Yeah, but I
tomorrow.
mean, there is. I'd rather you leave.
Well,
It's
you
dangerous.
You should leave and you can leave. You know you're enchanted, right? The water is enchanted.
What?
Someone put a spell on you guys through the water.
How?
There are powerful magical people out there who can do spells on things, or something is in the water that transports us. I'm not sure. I don't know where the water comes from, but you can leave. Do I have anything to help? I could try suggestion again.
Okay. Yes.
It would be a spell save 13 for her, which is not that high, but I would put that in as well.
She rolled a 3.
So it would be you and your friends can leave tomorrow, pack things.
But
Or
we
rather-
will just be turned back.
As I said, you are enchanted. You are not turned back. You can just leave.
All
We
right,
can
if you
leave-
say so.
We can accompany you. We can also leave now. Maybe we should leave now. Pack. Collect the others. We will guide you to the main road. then you're safe.
She basically, I mean, she is under your suggestion spell, so she can't really do it any differently. So she does, as you are told, and you see that she rounds up 5 or 6 really elderly people. I mean, like, we're talking 70s here, and in this day and age, and of course in this area, this is old.
Yeah,
know?
we would have had a peek around, but I suspect no horses, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, even or odd?
Even. Let's go with a different thing.
19.
No, I should.
You don't. Yeah, you should. You don't find any horses, but they do have kind of like a hand cart where they can put
then
like
we will
stuff in
take
it.
a hand cart to that. At least they don't have to carry anything but themselves.
Okay, and then what do you want to do? Do you want to take them to Trudit all the way back, or what do you want to do? Or do you want to take them to the road, and then from there they should continue on to Red's Cross?
I would discuss with Min what she thinks is best. I think in Trudit, I'm not sure if the people, well, they are taking the people in, but they're also robbing the people. I think they might have a higher chance to go to the main road. Because it's quite a bit away from Nocturne and Shadowdale.
Yes, it is. I'm just looking
Worst
at the
case,
map.
we accompany them back to Red's Cross and then we turn around again.
So basically you figure, because you do have a map, that it's gonna take them possibly 1.5 days to Red's Cross. Because the road is, well, actually, is it?
It's more like 2.
In their state, it's more like 2 days. Yeah.
2
so,
at least, yeah.
Yeah.
But Trudit would also be.
Plus, of course, the path to Trudit is a lot more difficult to travel, and you don't think that they would be able to pull the hand
And
cart.
we wouldn't be, the hand cart. So we go to the main road, and either we meet people that we can trust and hand them basically over, or we guide them to Red's Cross. We will decide when we're at. First of all, getting to the main road.
So you basically travel the road. It's like so there is a kind of like a mainish road that would take them to the main road from Red's Cross to Tangle Bend. And
so I would bind my quarterstaff to the. No, I wouldn't bind it. I would have it in my hand, but the quarterstaff, I would put light on the end of it, but basically the brightest light that I can come up with. And light lingers for a while as well, right? Isn't it also? An hour, and it's a cantrip, so I can. So until the spell ends, it sheds a bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for additional 20. So it's quite a bit at least.
So essentially, you take point with the light, and Min will bring up the rear, and she will be drawing the cart.
Okay.
So that people can just basically draw themselves. They don't have additional weight, so she's going to take care of the hand cart. And you walk, basically, you walk to the main road. Now, please make even or odd.
Odd.
And basically you arrive at the road, and you see a pink and purple cart, and it says Hattie's Hats.
Miss Hattie.
And it's you. Well, and customers. And she opens
No. Just they're very well. Let's say in Shadowdale, not everything is going well. The water is in a bad situation, and they are the last one that couldn't leave. Do you by any chance plan to get back to Red's Cross?
Well, I wasn't, but I mean, if this would help you, because I have sold plenty of hats, so I've made a lot of money, so I could take a trip back to Red's Cross.
would you mind taking care of the elderly people here?
Oh, no, not at all. Maybe I can give them a couple of hats.
Maybe they have a little bit of money in between, and maybe you can give them a little bit of happiness back. And Lyra would give her... How many people do we have?
5.
With us? So she would give 5 gold. So a gold for each.
I cannot accept this. Give me 1 gold for food that I can buy for them in Red's Cross.
Take the 5 and make sure they get nice things in Red Cross. Or from you, if they like.
Okay, I'm going to take 3 and you keep 2.
But with 3 you can't get much for the 3 people here.
Well, but I've got money too. I mean, these people deserve help. Look at them. They look very decrepit.
Yeah, but give them 5. Take it. And if not, give the rest to them, that they have a start. Because they can't return home.
We will do it this way.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And if any time you cross through Hamlet, just peek in at the... Oh God, how did I call my shop?
Chromatic counter.
At the chromatic...
I will.
You will get extra nice prices.
Thank you. She basically makes room in her car so that people can sit. And then she ties the handcart to the back of her car, of her carriage, and then she walks next to the horses, and they make their way to Red's Cross. What do you do? It's now evening.
Well, let's put up camp a little bit away from the road, I suspect. And tomorrow we will go back to Shadowdale and then up to Nocturne.
Okay, so the next day you go up to Shadowdale. Now it's even eerier because it's completely empty. There is no one there. You hear howling of wolves. And you also know that you will have to stay here overnight because obviously there is no way you could... I mean, you could in theory go there in the dark, but you do know it's up a mountain.
No. Yeah, and we haven't been there before. Maybe if you know the place, we don't. So we will look for house that looks decently stable, where we can at least barricade the door and the windows.
And basically you find that...
And that has a fireplace where we can do a bit of cooking with...
That is actually not a problem. Wood is there. You can get dry wood, you can do a lot of cooking.
No, we don't have much ration, so we will be very careful because only eating what we brought with us.
The wind is howling. It's very eerie. You make a constitution save, please. No, actually make a wisdom save. Okay.
6.
Okay. You actually find it really difficult to find sleep. The atmosphere is grinding on you. You feel uneasy. This is not good. There's foreboding in the air. Basically, you take shifts again, you each get your long rest, and the next day you make your way up to Nocturne.
Yep.
Do you want to keep going or shall we leave it here?
I think it's a good point to leave it here. Okay. Then we have a Nocturne all really done in one piece. I'm glad that we could at least get the older people out there.
Okay, so it's the 13th of Leaf Fall and you are going to Nocturne. Okay, then I would like to thank you for playing.
Thank you for getting all of this together.
And
we met a dragon and we're still alive. Guys,
yes,
you can face a dragon without dying.
And this is actually the original Petunia. This is where she came from.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so cute.
And
who would kill a little crying wormling? Which horrible group would do that?
Well, she is green.
But she's small.
I know.
Well, still big for a human, but she's...
She's a child. She's
Yes.
baby.
She's just a baby. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
she's just
I had
a
in mind
baby.
all the time. She's just a baby.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
thank
so-
you for getting this. And then I'm curious what we will get together nocturne.
We will see in 2 weeks' time. And until then, we wish everybody a great time. And thanks again for your patronage. Thanks again for listening, for commenting, and for liking and subscribing. And talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.